Welcome
Welcome
to Shade
to
in the
Shade in the
City.
City.
I am your girl, Treese.
It's Nels.
And today we are here to get into part two. You didn't have to wait as long as the last one, but we're here to get into part two of the reunion of Real Housewives of Potomac, season 8. So, guys, we're on stage with the cast. You like that? You like that? I'm getting creative out here in these streets.
We're like
Anyway,
Andy out here.
right. Okay. Um, can I just tell you how irritated Andy seemed? I really wish they would have just brought Nikki back to do the be the host, because you can tell that Andy is just not, he's over it. Like, he was tired of being interrupted, them telling him what he was gonna talk about. We'll get into that, but I was like, yeah, y'all better hope y'all all get a letter after this. And why? I thought we only had 2 parts, but no, there's 3.
Yep.
Silly rabbit. All right. Anyway, if you haven't already, Shade Squad, please make sure you hit that like button.
And that subscribe button.
And y'all, let's jump right into it and let's get shady. Get it sexy. Get it sexy. Bow, bow, bow. Bow, bow, bow. Y'all can tell what I was listening to before I got up here. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't even gonna hold y'all. I can admit, okay, I'm not a fan of her necessarily.
I
But get
can
it,
too.
but get it sexy is that shit. Okay, I'm sorry. It is what it is. Anyway, so Andy's up here questioning Mia on why Ink thinks that he's her son's father. Mia admits that there was some overlap, however, but she knows her body. And then one thing that I wish they would have just brought up last week, we forgot Mia told us she had an IUI. So you went and got inseminated with Gordon's stuff. So this whole narrative of him thinking he could be the daddy, unless he just gonna have, I don't know. I look, stranger things have happened. Okay. Anyway, so I love how Karen takes over. This is what I was talking about in the intro, and she tells Andy that they need to move along because Jeremiah may one day see that, and she doesn't think that it should be discussed.
Did you see Mia's face when she said it though?
Huh? Yeah.
Mia was like,
right. He was like,
I'm cool with it, girl. So why are you?
right. He was like, last time I checked, I was the executive producer on this month. What you mean?
He really wasn't. He was like, yeah, all right, let's move along. And then he got her ass. He's like, well, since we talking about you, Karen, let's talk about the time your ass went up here on calling her a hoe.
Oh yeah, he did
Look,
say
like
that.
basically, like her son gonna see that too. I said, "Ooh, go Andy."
So, well, yes, like Nell said, he calls her out because he's like, y'all got on Robin for not being transparent. And Mia's like, no, no, no. I told Robin while we were in the salt cave that I was getting a divorce. Now, I was a little on the fence about this comment because you mentioned that you had went to see a divorce lawyer. In my mind, unless we did not see or there was a separate conversation, you never actually said that you were getting a divorce.
Mm-hmm.
So, but anyway, so
that wasn't even the first time she went and saw a divorce lawyer.
right,
He's been mentioning that all season. So
right. So then Andy brings up the loving speech on the finale, and how they didn't look separated at the time. And then basically Gizelle asked if Gordon was so upset because she decided to leave him for someone more financially stable. Mia says that wasn't it at all. And, basically one had nothing to do with the other. She explains that Gordon was bizarre, waking her up at 4 a.m. That's what time I be going to bed. So yeah, if I had just went to bed and you want to wake me up to talk about business, we might have some problems. And then, basically he was just being financially, a word, and emptying her accounts and stuff. So, She claims that
They'll tell the boo, get your own accounts.
right.
Own
And
account.
then basically Mia says that she's helping Gordon financially because he's still not working.
How the
She,
mighty have fallen, huh?
right. She claims that he lost three grandparents, or she lost three grandparents a year before they were married, and found out after the wedding that he was functioning bankrupt. I said, so, oh, y'all, but what's called, so I guess they were functioning bankrupt, but do y'all remember when she was in that house that she was renting in Potomac when she first came on,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like $10,000 a month or something crazy in rent?
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Yeah.
granted,
So,
he's
so
still a part of his business, but it sounds like it's giving very fake it till I make it.
the
Beer.
fact that she was like, "Oh, I wish I would have known. I would have helped him manage his money." Girl, you was helping spend that. You knew he didn't give a damn about spending it, and you was all on board. That's what that was giving.
It's giving champagne dreams, Budweiser budget. Okay.
Not
So
Budweiser.
Budweiser. So then Andy brings up the headline about them getting sued for not paying rent at the last apartment in Bethesda that they were in. Mia says that that was Gordon's fault because she left. He wouldn't get out. She also doesn't plan on paying the whole bill herself.
First of all, what I want to know is how y'all going to court for an apartment he ain't paid for, right? But you're giving this man money. What I'm not going to be doing is financing your life when we, the both of us, have our name on an apartment that we have to go to court for, and you're not paying a dime for it.
That part.
If I'm paying anything,
That
I'm paying so we don't
it's
have to
just to
deal
make
with.
sure I keep my credit straight.
Exactly. That's what the hell I'm gonna pay for. You figure your shit out.
And it makes me wonder if they do divorce, is she gonna end up paying him alimony?
No,
She ain't got no money. She's already helping him.
but that's right
So,
now.
huh?
That's right now, though. He was financing her life all these years.
But if you're not work, it's like when a man is put on child support and then he never works again. So you may still owe it, but that don't mean it's gonna get paid if I'm not working. Or you
Oh, I
gonna
mean, they will still put him on alimony. He just may not pay it. But I
right.
don't think they would make her do it.
Well, I thought it was based off of who makes more of the money, kind of like child support. Like if you're making more money and you have the, you know what I'm saying? Because don't get me wrong, he probably has to pay child support in that divorce decree as well.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not. Maybe she won't take it, but I would think she's gonna get probably not alimony because there was adultery involved. But she's definitely gonna get child support, and it don't seem like he's gonna be able to cover that if you're helping him financially.
I wonder if that's why he being so nice and kissing ass.
It might be.
Because
He
he got
might
you all waving to the homeboy in the background. And
right.
I
He
don't give
might
a
be
damn.
trying to.
He could be
And
a-
I actually heard a really good point today. I think it was Kempire who brought it up that he just thinks that G is just at a point where, as we talk about, you get to a certain age in life, he just wants Mia in his circle, in his, even if he can't be with
in
her
any capacity.
in any capacity, he just wants her. And I was like, whatever, if you like it, I love it. All right. So then basically Mia brings up how everyone in the cast had reached out to her to check up on her except for Candice and Wendy. Candy. That would be a cute little nickname for them, little duo. But Candice is leaving us. So anyway, Candice admits that she didn't. And Wendy explains that she didn't because this was after Mia, hit her upside the head with a pocketbook. And she said instead of getting her lick back, she decided she just won't say nothing. She was going to keep her mouth shut. And Candace states that she just didn't want to be involved. Mia points out how even Karen, who she's been on the outs with, checked on
She's been
herself
coming
as
at
well.
all year long.
Right. She reveals that she's now living in a penthouse in DC. I'm not asking no questions because apparently she's worldwide out here. She's jumping around. She was in Atlanta, but I imagine that's where Ink is. She says she's looking at Houston because she's syndicated in these streets. Okay, and Gordon apparently is in Charlotte, but he plans to move across the street into a condo that Mia's probably going to end up paying for.
I want to know how he putting his name on anything if he going to court for unpaid rent. So then they move on to Gizelle, her tenderoni, her daughter going away to college, and her father being sick. Now she said before she even addresses anything, before she answers any questions, okay, she wanted to address Wendy, okay, for telling this bold faced lie that she was making fun of her mother while she was in the hospital. She said she didn't even know she was in the hospital. Andy clarifies that basically she was saying that, you were calling her evil while she was in the hospital. Andy also said, but she didn't know. Wendy really didn't give a damn. Okay. She said, it doesn't matter whether you knew or not, basically. She was in the hospital and you called her evil. What?
To your point, I absolutely agree with Wendy. Now, I
Mm-hmm.
don't think Giselle knew. I don't. We
Nobody knew.
never saw any footage of
No, no, Trace, nobody knew.
what.
Nobody knew. Wendy found out that morning.
Well, true, but with Giselle's point, I don't think that she knew. However, I think Wendy's point is not only you spent a whole season calling her mom evil and insinuating that she's doing all types of other stuff because you didn't talk to Jamal and you're gonna take Jamal's advice on all people after what he's done to you. Let's call that witchcraft. Anyway, so yeah, I just go ahead, carry on.
I mean, I'm not going to agree whether her mom is evil or not. But if there are people around showing you receipts and showing you things that show that she has done some evil things, and you believe that she's in good health, we are talking about this subject. We are touching on this subject. This is the subject of the season. And Gizelle was not the only person that was talking about it. So
True.
this was the subject of the entire season. So that's what we were doing. We was talking about it. But if you had knowledge that my father is in the hospital to the point where I'm flying back and forth to go see him, and
To be honest, I just don't. I'm not saying that it's right. I think
mm-hmm,
that you should have empathy for people. Prime example, like Candice showed. However, I don't know. I think it is important to be compassionate. However, I think Wendy is much different than Candice. I'm not about to sit here and bow at y'all feet and be when I know y'all don't like me.
no, no, no. Even in the moment, what Candace said to me was fine.
No,
I
no, 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 no. What
when
I'm
she when
saying
she
is,
when
I
she was
feel
like, "Oh,
like,
I can show empathy from a distance," or whatever she said,
oh, okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
that to me that was fine. You don't take that moment to say, "Oh, well, she did da 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 da." Like
No, I get
how,
what you're saying.
how? First of all, Miss, I'm grown as hell. This is what we're doing. We're doing tit for tat, and
Well,
you're on the wrong side of the fence if you're trying to do tit for tat. But no, absolutely not. No, she was dead ass wrong.
okay,
She was dead ass
I'll give
wrong.
you that.
So then Gizelle, she gets into her father, what he means to her. And so, basically everyone was telling her not to do the show except for him because he recognized how amazing she was. Okay. He said the world need to see it. All right.
Would you say
Now
how
she said,
lazy she was?
I said amazing.
Oh, because I
Amazing.
said she damn sure ain't bringing no storyline. She definitely got lazy.
No, he said amazing, how amazing she
Oh,
was.
okay.
And everybody needed to see
I
it.
wouldn't
Now,
say father knows best.
you so stupid. Now she said that she did send him off the way he wanted. He wanted a celebration of life instead of a funeral. So they had a big ass party for him in New Orleans. It looked like it was a turn up.
I mean, hopefully, I got many, many more trips around the sun. And I've
It
always said that's how I'm trying to go out. Okay,
looked like a time to be had.
pour a little look out for me and dance around. Okay.
Now she said she was there with him for his last breath. And basically when they were handing out dads, she got one of the best. Now she thanks everyone around her who rallied around her. I think that was a shot at some of the people on the stage, but that's neither here nor there. I don't think they give a damn anyway.
No.
Now Andy noticed that Candice was crying again, and wanted to know why. Okay, Mia said basically because the wind blew left. This is what she do. Okay, and Gizelle said, yeah, she cries about things even when it ain't about her. Okay, Candice said that it's because she feels for Gizelle, and apparently, um, Grace She says that Grace is doing good. She's happy that her grandfather did get to see her graduate. Her other two daughters have committed to a school that they plan to go to. Um, and yeah, I mean, that's
Can I
pretty much
just
it.
say that I'm really happy that Gizelle got up here and showed just how much of a mean girl she really is.
I ain't gonna lie, I would have talked shit about Candace's crying. I do talk shit about Candace's crying.
Right. And everybody can feel a way about the cry angle or the fact that she's, oh, seems very sensitive and emotional. However, and I think even Andy noticed it when he was like, she's crying because like she feels for you, and Gizelle is just, and I was like, you know what? I need you to stay there. So hopefully we will only get maybe one more season of you, because people will see and start to become disgusted with how nasty you are.
It's so weird how they can, because I was watching a different show
Mhm.
yesterday. Yesterday, right? Totally different show. One we don't,
Review, yeah.
yeah. But it was people that were friends for like over 5 years. They fell out super bad, didn't talk, even got physical a little bit. And we saw how the like,
Not Young Miami and JT.
no, girl, they
No,
ain't got no
okay.
show. Child.
No, I'm just being a smart.
And I don't think they ever got physical. But to see
We
them
don't
come
know about
back, I was in tears. I was in tears
it.
watching it, right? But to see the women on this show and see how at one point, and this goes even back to Candace and Monique, right?
Mhm.
To see how they have been friends and refuse to take accountability, acknowledge what they've done wrong, ask for forgiveness for what they've done wrong. Like, and these are I don't want to say way older women, but they're older.
They're
And
they're at their big age.
and they're supposed to be you know living this prestigious life, and they're real housewives of freaking Potomac. You know what I'm
That's what
saying?
that's why it goes to show you money can't buy happiness.
And actually, I'm gonna say what show it was. It was Love and Hip Hop Miami.
Oh,
And to see them make up, and the people in this show cannot.
who? Carly and Spice?
Yes.
Oh, well, that's good. I
No,
don't
no,
watch
and,
it.
and and when I tell you, let me tell you something. Spice has been
Yeah, I know. I
spicy
don't
for
know if
a
I would have
while.
been able to come
I
back.
think I think it was what she went through, to be honest with you. But and I don't want to make excuses, but she's been super spicy. Okay, but to see her put all that to the side, go up on stage, give this heartfelt apology in front of all of the people that were at their show in Canada, like it was Trace. I was in tears. I was in
Oh,
tears, and to see these grown ass women who can't even, like you said, even because okay, yes, she does cry all the time, but to even see her like feel some type of way about like,
right. She's
I feel bad
crying
for her
because
father.
it's something that affects you. It ain't got nothing to do with her. That's why I
Hmm.
didn't like her.
But even, I mean, even outside of this relationship, just a bunch of the relationships on this show, it's like you just don't know how to find your way back.
Or they don't want to. That's
Mhm.
why, unfortunately, Love and Marriage DC and obviously because it's in the same area vicinity, but that's why they get grouped together, because the same thing's happening on both, and it's different production teams, it's different, but the same thing is happening on both sides.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm,
so
I'm,
you done?
yeah, I'm done with Giselle.
Oh, you're not gonna talk about how she plans to go see Jason at the reunion, even though they caught him kissing some little blonde girl that wasn't her. I just had to bring that up. It's okay. You don't have
Oh, wait. No, this is still Giselle. My fault.
to.
I saw Wendy and Candace, and I thought I was done with her.
No,
Okay,
no,
so
no.
then
They
they
get
move
into
on.
the Grace
That's
thing.
what it was. Okay, so then they move on to the faces that Candace and Giselle was making while Giselle was talking about her daughter. Candace says that she regrets so much. Look, I thought this was hilarious because she's like, I regret so much. And Karen was like, thank you. She said that Giselle uses her children
Children.
to make them look a certain type of way. I said, Look, I know Karen was like, well, that's not what I thought was
What
about
I
to
meant to, I
happen.
didn't.
Wendy said what we didn't see, okay, is that she actually congratulated her on getting into the school that she was going to and asked her if she was going to be an AKA. Okay. Giselle said it didn't happen. Okay. She said if it did, it would be a tape, and ain't no tape.
There's no tape available right now while they were
Hmm.
recording the reunion, but
I believe it happened. Wendy and
I think
Candace
it
said,
happened too. I think it happened too.
Wendy and Karen, Candace said that it happened.
And I think
Um,
somebody pointed out, shout out to Jamie, that's me. She actually pointed out that when Gizelle says that, Robin makes a face. And if you think about it, the way Robin was so into being in their mouths and watching what they were saying and watching their facial expressions, she could have, I believe she heard it, but she just didn't want to go up against Giselle on that stage and say, no, girl, it happened. They did say that.
mm,
Because if anybody heard it, it was her. And so I was like, oh, her face told on her basically. And plus, we know, in my opinion, Giselle has production in her back pocket, so there, it is what it is. Just like they didn't necessarily have to show what Wendy said, and they could have, oh, that's not the best thing. That's not the best look for you, Wendy. You look
mhm.
real heartless. They could have cut that out, but no, they want to make her look bad. But if it was Giselle, they wouldn't have shown it.
Like they didn't show it.
Right.
So basic now, Giselle and Jason, I guess, are basically done. Okay. He broke the golden rule of public embarrassment.
Not in
Apparently
her eyes. She thinks that they're great.
she said she was going to see him while she was in New York, but I guess I don't know. Maybe he ain't gonna be on the show no more. I don't really know what this means. Apparently he got kissing some blonde chick. She said that he called her when it happened and told her about it, but she said she ain't got the capacity to deal with it. So
Because she got other options,
yeah,
apparently.
she dealing with other men's out here.
But said there's no action going down in the whatever. Whatever we want to believe. All right. So then we move on to Candace. She says that she went to a specialist for a second opinion. Her lumps got smaller. And so, she tears up about that. She talks about her budding music career. Andy asked the question that I've been wanting to know as well: what happened between her and Drew Sidora, and why she didn't want her opening up for her. Now, what Candace says is that, or what it sounds like, apparently, I guess that would be like if somebody said, "Oh, can Chanel come over here on my show and da da da?" But instead of coming to ask me, they go to ask you directly. But they met you through me. I might feel away. Like
Wait, what?
you didn't. That would be, I think, what happened. This is just my thinking of what sounds like happened. Basically, they had a person. That's why Andy used the Taylor Swift, Katy Perry example with the
Hmm.
dancer. It's somebody that I've introduced you to, or they've met you through me, and then they say, "Hey, I want to basically take Chanel and use her for this project," but they don't kind of like run it by me
And that's what
out
Drew
of
did.
respect. Yeah. And
Got you.
I kind of agree with that.
Hmm.
But I also, I can admit that I'm territorial. So I can admit that would make me feel away.
Mm, okay.
And see, for you, you might be like, take her. Take her. I know she'll be back.
She ain't gone for long. She ain't gone.
Right. But I do understand where, I kind of understand where Candace was coming from. So anyway, then basically they bring up the lawsuit with Michael and how that was dismissed. And obviously Candace is happy about that. Ashley denies having any knowledge of the case and wouldn't have received any financial gain if he had one. Um, but she's still out there rubbing them feet though. Andy jumps into the breakdown of Robin and Candace's friendship. He questions Robin whether she believes Candace was coming for her job. Then Candace breaks down this whole timeline of events and says after the reunion to compliment her, she reached out to her to compliment her on a look. And I guess she had longer hair. And Robin replied, well, that's not good because I'll appear more white adjacent. Then this turns into, you know, and she says that she was hurt by the comments and whatever. So Candace does receive this, but brings up how I did ask you if you were mad and you didn't respond. And then, I reached out to you after the whole Juan fiasco. and still heard nothing, and then went and spoke about it. And then you went and spoke about your whole situation behind a paywall, which, I was pissed off about. But she does take accountability and apologizes for hurting her. Now, Robin says the, colorism conversation was uncomfortable for her and she didn't know how to navigate that. Gizelle accuses Candice of going online and accusing them of being colorist. I love when Wendy steps in and brings up how Candice said that they weren't at the last reunion. She didn't believe that they were colorists. Wendy gathers the whole cast and explains how it's messed up that if it were a black white situation, someone could say, basically, I'm not racist, but doesn't want to hear what made the other person or gave the other person that impression. And I shout out to Wendy for that. I think she was the real MVP this episode. And then Karen says that basically she feels they're the best Bravo cast to discuss it. Wendy absolutely disagrees and says they need to. I was like, okay, hold on. Karen and Wendy was having a little. I was like, let's not make this a thing. But Wendy disagrees and says that they need to have the range to talk about it. And if they're going to speak about it, and I feel like if they are, they need to bring on somebody who's actually a professional and can speak and talk to them on camera as well as off camera. Candice says that she's fine basically with their friendship not being repaired. Oh, because at this point Andy wants to move on the conversation. And then backstage, we see NECA tripping because she's just been a spectator this whole reunion, and we ain't really heard a peep from her for real, for real. And so
I got things to say.
Right, and Ike and Mia tell her to speak up when she gets back on stage, because yeah, you really coming. You're not even giving friend to the show at this point. You're just giving girl on the couch.
You so silly.
I feel like, no shade. All that time they gave NECA and she didn't say nothing. They should have just brought Kiana on. She would have had some. I feel like she would have gave more.
They didn't address her. They didn't ask her if she wanted to say something.
Huh?
They didn't address her and ask her if she wanted to say something.
Oh, NECA?
Yeah.
You don't have to. Nobody else.
What do you mean all that time that they gave her?
Oh, what I mean is like her sitting up there on stage and not doing anything and not saying anything and not adding.
Well, if she was to say something, it would be addressing the things that Andy brought up. She has her own things to say.
Right. But what I'm saying is, as Mia told her, what it's looking like right now, you're looking like a viewer of the show who just happened to get on stage.
The only way she would be able to do that is if she interrupted and said, listen, I got something I want to say.
People gave their opinions
about what Andy brought up.
That's right, but it may not have had anything to do with them, but they still gave their opinions, is what I'm saying. And she just sat there.
I don't think she has an opinion about that. I think she has things she wants to address on her own. Mm-hmm. Things that happened during the season that she wants to address that has nothing to do with anything that they brought up on the stage. So I think hers would be like off topic. Like, hey, this is what I want to talk about.
All right, if you want to cape for NECA so she can come back another season, that's on you. But I don't want her back. I don't want her back.
You didn't want her here this season.
What did she bring? Now you can bring that champagne over, but other than that, you ain't bring nothing.
Shut up, Trace. All right, so then they bring the husbands out.
Oh, yes. I love the way Chris gathered Miss Gizelle. Yes.
Yes, he did.
So I said him and Candice were at home practicing this.
That was definitely given. I'm Candice's husband.
Yes.
Mr. Osofo. Okay. This man messed Happy Eddie that made $2 million in sales.
I know he's real happy.
Period.
Snuffleupagus his ass. Anyway.
In less than 6 months, though. That's what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So Chris was asked about his opinion on Robin plotting on him, and he said basically he ain't talked about it. He don't give a damn about it. Okay, he ain't talked about it since last reunion, and really he don't give a. He said, "I don't fuck." Okay. What I'm not about to do is address it.
Right.
You good there. So then Andy wanted to know about this woman who said that she had an affair with him and had an abortion for him. He said he ain't never met that person. Okay. Robin tries to dig a little deeper, but she don't try to dig a little deeper with Juan shit. Everybody else's shit, she want to dig a little deeper, okay? But she wants to know about these screenshots. He said, I ain't never met this woman. He said, she was like, oh, just because just because you didn't meet her don't mean that she was. He said, listen, I don't know nothing about no screenshots. This is what we're not about to do, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Candice tried to blame Gizelle. Giselle said basically the woman actually said that she does not know Giselle. Okay, do not get her involved. This is between her and Chris and their inappropriate relationship. Chris said Candice said, basically that's how she feels. Okay, just like you wanted to be acknowledged for how you felt 2 years ago, so does she. Next question. I said, oh,
Mm-hmm.
look, and Candice looked on. She looked so proud.
She looked like a proud mom. She said,
She
"Yep,
looks so proud.
yeah."
My baby did good. That's right, baby. You did so good. I said, oh, okay. So
You
then
know what? It's so crazy. I can only imagine what arguments are like in that house. Like prime example, how my boo has become a lot more shady since we started this, and
I,
the arguments are very interesting now.
I think if he, I think if he is picking up what she is putting down, she is in tears more often.
That part.
Okay. Now, Andy asked the men, basically, with Juan not being there, okay, what made them show up? Gordon said, he ain't trying to throw nobody under the bus, but basically he came to support his now ex-wife. And he said that he has something he wanted to share with the group, that they don't know, and of course it's to be continued, and we're gonna find out in part 3 because that's what they do.
Right. That's what they do. That's what they
That's
do.
that's that's how they get down.
Right. So yeah, y'all let us know your thoughts on part 2 of the reunion of Real Housewives of Potomac. If you have not already, please make sure that you hit that like button.
Make sure you comment.
Make sure you are subscribed, okay? Because we are growing and glowing over here, and we don't want you to miss out on nothing, okay?
Period. Oh, and hit the notification bell.
Thank you. Okay.
Do that too.
Yeah, you gotta finish the script. You gotta finish the script.
Well,
Yeah, y'all.
don't be getting me all wrapped up.
You
Shit.
see. But yeah, y'all, we thank you. We appreciate you, and we will catch you next week for part 3 of this season that never seems to end.
We'll be there.
Right, we'll be there. Bye bye.